Witnesses who are going to be testifying today on conflict and religious persecution in Nigeria. I'm very much looking forward to the conversation we'll have with Ambassador Pratt and Deputy Assistant Secretary McGee, as this committee is long overdue to hold a hearing with Trump administration officials.
I am so happy. Do you imagine where the Southeasterners would have been in self-development if they had been allowed to go and express themselves the way they want? It is the same thing that happened to Singapore when they left Malaysia. Singapore was a swampy area that, in fact, Malaysia never believed that they are worth anything. They say you should just carry your while and go. Look at what they turned out to be today.
Oh yes, Biafran has been the talk of the global world. Everywhere you go today, you must hear people talking about Biafra and talking about the division of Nigeria, and mostly the issue of Mazam Kano release. In fact, in this video exposed a lot of things that is going on in Nigeria and the suffering of the Igbos and what and how, where the US, the United Nations, where they stand for as it is, so that for you to understand what is really going on. That is why you see a lot of things happening in Nigeria. So the court process, the appeal case, in fact, a lot of things. And also this, our brother, he re-explained things that is happening in Nigeria right now, so that for you to understand where the US, where Donald Trump is now pointing hand at, so that you will know where you stand on. In fact, don't skip any part. I was about to watch, like, subscribe, and share it for everyone to see things going on in Nigeria.
Are going to be testifying today on conflict and religious persecution in Nigeria. I'm very much looking forward to the conversation we'll have with Ambassador Pratt and Deputy Assistant Secretary McGee, as this committee is long overdue to hold a hearing with Trump administration officials. The African continent continues to be both increasingly important and increasingly overlooked. The continent is the youngest in the world, and in Nigeria alone, 70% of the population is under 35, and 40% is under 15. So it represents the generations who will continue to lead and solve the world's problems. Nigeria has a unique position as a bellwether, as Africa's largest economy, most populous nation, and a significant actor in the region and on the world stage. And meanwhile, Nigeria is facing its own challenges, like rising insecurity, shrinking freedom of expression, and a struggling economy. So let's talk about the very real conflict and violence happening in Nigeria. Nigeria is facing multiple different security challenges in various parts of the country, including violent extremist groups in the northeast, criminal banditry in the northwest, and across the country, farmer-herder conflict in the Middle Belt, and other intercommunal violence in central and northern regions. Several factors are driving these conflicts. Yes, ethnicity and religion play a role in some cases, but other dynamics like poor governance, resource competition, climate change, and population pressures are important drivers that need to be addressed. I appreciate the chairman's passion on this and his long work on Nigeria. I think it's a distortion to say that what we're trying to say is that there's nothing to see here. In fact, there is something to see here. There is very real conflict and violence that we need to address. I've been working on addressing conflict in Nigeria since 2013, 2014, when I was part of the counter Boko Haram strategy at the State Department. The violence impacting both Christian and Muslim communities is real, and the Nigerian government can and should do more to address it. I was horrified to learn of the killing of 2 people and the kidnapping of the pastor and a worshiper at a church in Kwara State. And this came only a few days after, as the chairman mentioned, criminal bandits kidnapped 25 girls in Kebbi State. But it is counterproductive to adopt oversimplistic narratives about the multiple complex overlapping security challenges and violence across the country. The victims in the Kebbi State kidnapping were all Muslim girls. So violence affects everyone, and false narratives perpetuate harmful stereotypes and motivate tensions and violence based on religious identity. Distorting what's happening into a solely religious narrative erases the real drivers of violence and makes it harder to implement effective solutions. And it can fuel violence against the very groups the Trump administration claims it wants to protect. That's why I'm alarmed by President Trump's rhetoric about this violence and threats to go into Nigeria, guns a-blazing, and to wipe out terrorists. We are already receiving reports of increased tensions between Christian and Muslim populations following this rhetoric. President Trump's threat is reckless, and any unilateral military action in Nigeria would be illegal. Congress has not authorized force in Nigeria to protect Christians, and any action without Nigeria's consent violates international law. We also know that a military-first response won't actually address the violence and will do very little to protect Christian communities. As I said, I worked on Nigeria policy since I was at the State Department in 2014, so I know firsthand these security challenges are multifaceted and they require a holistic approach. A military-led approach risks more civilian casualties and impunity, which will only fuel violent extremism more. So we need to use more tools from our foreign policy toolbox if we're serious about helping Nigeria protect its citizens. That means we need to leverage diplomacy and engage with Nigeria on how we can help support their response while pushing for important reforms within Nigeria's institutions. We also need to utilize foreign assistance to fund programs to help prevent violence and address conflict drivers. But the Trump administration so far has hobbled these tools. On the diplomatic front, while I'm glad to see Ambassador Pratt will be here representing the African Affairs Bureau, we still have yet to see even a nomination for an Assistant Secretary for Africa. And we don't have a Senior Director for Africa at the NSC either. There are several emergent conflicts in Africa, including in Nigeria, but also in Sudan, DRC, and across the Sahel and in Ethiopia that demand high-level, consistent, and substantive engagement. Occasional attention from the President, while most of the time welcome, won't be enough to see lasting results on all of these different crises. And on the development front, President Trump's dismantling of USAID and cuts of hundreds of millions of dollars worth foreign assistance in Nigeria is worsening the violence. For years, the United States has supported Nigerian institutions, civil society, faith-based leaders, and researchers to address the conflict, violence, and religious freedom challenges. These programs proactively prevented and directly addressed the violence this administration is now concerned about. For example, a recent article in DevEx highlighted a program that Secretary Rubio terminated, which has left a void in communities that suffer violence. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to submit for the record a DevEx article titled "The Cuts That Bleed: What Happens When Peace Programs Go Dark." Thank you. This article focuses on a former program implemented by Search for Common Ground, a peace-building organization that provided critical early warning in communities in Yelwata, a region in Nigeria's Middle Belt, where conflict and violence have erupted between Muslim herders and Christian farmers. This early warning program was responsible for fewer violent incidences before Secretary Rubio terminated it. In June, this same community was left in a lurch without this extra early warning support when an attack happened in Makurdi. Nearly 200 people were killed, hundreds burned alive in their homes and market stalls torched, and almost 4,000 people fled. And this is just one example where the United States has abandoned communities with no explanation. I have another article, this time from the LA Times by former USAID Foreign Service Officer Daniel Morris, that details another program that was helping prevent violence, but was discontinued. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to submit for the record an LA Times article titled "Trump Cuts Nigeria's Aid Back in March, Now He Wonders Why It's So Violent." Thank you. This article discusses a program called the Community Initiatives to Promote Peace that operated in northern Nigeria. It trained community elders, including religious and tribal leaders, in conflict resolution, and the results were impressive. After giving one group training and making another one a control group for 6 months, each group was asked if their communities experienced violence. Here's what the article says. Only 10% of people in communities that received negotiation training and dialogue meetings said yes, compared to 41% of people in communities that hadn't. The Nigerians in the treatment group reported feeling more secure, more likely to walk around their communities, and less likely to avoid certain areas than those in the control group. We don't always see these kinds of results. So the fact that we were and the administration eliminated this program is incredibly short-sighted and counterproductive given their apparent interest in this issue. So if we want the United States to help prevent and address conflict in Nigeria, We can't pull back and eliminate our tools like President Trump has done. I urge the administration to reverse these decisions, nominate people at senior levels to work on Africa issues, and commit to working on this seriously, not just through a few true social posts. So I look forward to hearing the testimony of Ambassador Pratt and Deputy Assistant Secretary McKee on what the State Department is planning to do to address the violence in Nigeria and how it plans to partner with Nigeria on doing so. And lastly, while I'm glad we have our witnesses here to discuss Nigeria today, I would be remiss to not also raise Sudan, since this is our first time with the State Department witnesses in front of this subcommittee this Congress, and we still have not had a budget hearing. The situation in Sudan is horrific. And while I'm glad to see this war finally getting high-level attention from President Trump, I look forward to hearing from Ambassador Pratt about what the department's plan is to both make a deal that brings a lasting end to the war in Sudan and invest in a real peace process.
I am so happy. Up to tomorrow, not even today, up to tomorrow, no country in the whole world has labeled IPOB a terrorist organization. And IPOB had representative in all the countries of the world. Every year when they celebrate IPOB Day, they come out in all the countries, not one, not two. US, UK, Germany, Canada, all the Western world, everywhere. Have you had any country that said, oh yeah, all of you, go away, you are terrorists in our country? Have you heard of such a thing? IPOB.
Do you think it's an Igbo thing?
It's an Igbo thing. Who are the members of IPOB? Who? Tell me, are there people from the southwest or from the north? Is there any day or any time or any month or year that IPOB member went to any place, either in the southeast or anywhere in Nigeria, killed the entire village, killed the military, the Nigerian military, sacked the entire village, or asked them to be paying protection money? Really, civilians or their terrorists and their collaborators operating and transacting business there. There is nothing we have not heard that terrorists came to extort money from people selling in that market. And so, if that is your own intel, please, are you not supposed to wait until they have left that market and retire to their abode or to their habitation? Then you can now strike. And if they actually came to extort money from traders, bombing the place, is that your last option? That is the last option you have. You mean there is no way you can separate the civilian personnel there and the real terrorists? These are questions that will tell you that our so-called military, they are not acting with intelligence. You cannot bomb civilian population because you want to catch terrorists. There is no explanation to that. By the way, who were the actual people that was bombed there? Who were the actual people? The actual people that was bombed there. Which religion do they profess?
Barrister Elijah Marcos, special counsel and now consultant to Nnamdi Kanu, who is currently in Sokoto prison, actually called out the Nigerian government for publishing them as a list, publishing them in the list of terror groups by terror and terrorist sponsors. So Elijah Marcos said that the move is a direct affront, all right, to the court, insisting that the matter concerning the proscription of IPOB as a terrorist organization remains unresolved before the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So if the Supreme Court has not declared IPOB as a terrorist organization, why were they listed as a terrorist organization? There was a list that came out and they mentioned indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, as a terrorist group. In other words, you've like literally listed an entire ethnic group as a terrorist organization. Now, would you say that an entire ethnic group has been listed as a terrorist organization, indigenous people of Biafra? I remember there was a day I asked you, I said, what is Biafra? And if it's recognized, what does it stand for? What does it represent? Is this something that is recognized as a country, both home and international, or is something that an ethnic group believes in their heart that they represent, for them to have proscribed it entirely? This was done by late Muhammadu Buhari's administration under the current ethnic under the previous Attorney General of the Federation, currently facing cases with the EFCC. Abubakar Malami, despite several calls for him to drop that, he refused to drop that. Abubakar Malami fronted and made sure that IPOB was listed as a terrorist organization. So at this juncture, would we say it was the Nigerian government pushing an agenda, or there is any credibility to what was done in putting them in the list?
It was Buhari and his Attorney General who is now getting reward for all he did.
And he's now in the ADC.
So, in fact, I told you here that I don't have sympathy for him, because this was the same people that came together, both himself and his principal, and declared IPOB a terrorist organization and gazetted it. But Esther, do you know the shame of these people? Do you know why I am so happy? Up to tomorrow, not even today, up to tomorrow, labeled IPOB a terrorist organization. And IPOB had representative in all the countries of the world. Every year when they celebrate IPOB Day, they come out in all the countries, not one, not two. US, UK, Germany, Canada, all the Western world, everywhere. Have you had any country that said, oh yeah, all of you, go away, you are terrorists in our country? Have you heard of such a thing? If they are terrorists, why would they be visible everywhere? Nobody have deported them, Esther. You can see now. So this is the shame of the federal government of Nigeria. You want to hang a dog, you now give it a bad name, thinking that you will succeed. You know you will not succeed. All the things they are doing against the Igbos, these are part of the reasons. IPOB.
You think it's an Igbo thing?
It's an Igbo thing. Who are the members of IPOB? Who? Tell me. Are there people from the southwest or from the north? It's an Igbo thing. A self-determination group is allowed under the UN Charter, which Nigeria domesticated. So on what basis are you calling IPOB a terrorist organization? This thing that these people are doing in the north, is IPOB doing it, Esther? No, tell me. How can you compare IPOB with these terrorists in the north? How? I have been asking that question and nobody has given me an answer. Is there any day or any time or any month or year that IPOB member went to any place, either in the southeast or anywhere in Nigeria, killed the entire village, killed the military, the Nigerian military, sacked the entire village, or asked them to be paying protection money,
or tax,
or kidnap them for ransom? I mean, when people are doing something, let them think so that they don't embarrass Nigeria and themselves. No Nigerian official can go outside and call IPOB a terror and somebody will listen to it. They can't even try it. Remember when they are forcing UK to label Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist? They refused to listen to them. They simply ignored them.
But the UK up to now has refused to do anything concerning Nnamdi Kanu's case. It almost seems like it's a collaborated effort with the United Kingdom.
At least they didn't see Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorist. They did not. They have not said anything.
Don't you think that silence is consent?
No, they want the federal government to finish what they are doing.
Are you sure? At what instance has the UK ever intervened or contradicted or sort of critiqued whatever it is the Nigerian government does? At least
they didn't listen to Nigerian government when they were begging them to call IPOB a terrorist organization. The UK government did not listen. They didn't answer. In fact, they didn't follow them. So what are you telling me here now? Until tomorrow, IPOB can never be a terrorist organization. It can never be. The whole world is aware of the situation of the IPOB members and the Igbos in Nigeria. They are now aware. That is why they refuse to listen to them. Unfortunately, the Nigerian government have not deemed it fit to recant or to repent. Look at the terrorists that are actually disturbing Nigeria since 2009. They didn't see anything to do now. So, well, the thing that God is fighting about is Esther. Did you hear me? God is fighting about, because he said the battle is his own and vengeance belongs to him. All those people who killed Igbo youth for no reason, the people that they killed and the people that followed them, ordered them to do the killing. They are now getting it.
And the politicians as well in the southeast also.
Of course,
because you cannot exonerate them.
Of course, all of them will get their due pay. That's how God works. God will say that the battle is his own and vengeance belongs to him. So That is the final word. God has finished the whole story. Let them continue to hunt the Igbo man wherever he goes, while God is fighting for him. Let's see who will win. Did they believe that this thing will get to this stage, Esther? I wish Buhari were to be alive today to see the result of what he started. I wish he were to be alive. Every time I pop. Meanwhile, there's no evidence. So, do you know terrorists more than the US and the Western world? Those people, they can identify, they have all the data of all the terrorists in the whole world. And you are telling me IPOB. Self-determination is not a crime anywhere. That's why it is the UN Charter. It is not a crime. It's not a crime. UK left European Union the other day. Did the heaven fall? Did it stop them from existing? Did you hear anybody shooting to say no, you must not leave us, so you must come back here? It is only in Africa that some of these things happen, and that's why we are not moving forward. Esther, do you imagine where the Southeasterners would have been in self-development if they had been allowed to go and, express themselves the way they want? It is the same thing that happened to Singapore when they left Malaysia. Singapore was a swampy area that, in fact, Malaysia never believed that they are worth anything. They say, you should just carry your while and go.
The truth of everything is that trying to force everyone to be in this country, it can't work. It can't. In fact, there will not be peace because everybody is trying to understand themselves. Since 1960, we haven't understand ourselves. So the best option is for us to just go in our separate ways. And Mazin and Kala have already made a stand and said that this is one of the reasons why he said so. And his reasons are, let Biafran manage their resources and let Hausa manage their own resources, because you can't just be collecting the mineral resources that is in Biafra land and be taking it to Hausa land. It doesn't make any sense now. And again, you are marginalizing the Igbos. That's what Mazin Kalo is even saying. If you can recognize us, no problem. Let's just be together. But since 1960 that Nigeria got independent, it's as if they have been treating Igbos as if they are nobody, and still yet they are still making it on their own. So the best option for us to be in peace and harmony is just for them to just divide this country. Let everybody just go and manage his or her own resources. A citizen of Nigeria is supposed to be earning no less than 500,000 in this country, but it seems as if those people do not even care. They don't even care whether you will eat, whether you will survive. And now, right now, bandits are everywhere. And this is what Mazin Dekal said long time ago. He gave this prophecy a long time ago. And now bandits are everywhere. Bandits are everywhere. Just imagine. How are we going to survive in this country? It's a shameful thing. It's as if the president don't even know what to do. Now, so many people are saying that let's just give them Igbo president so that they will be recognized. Giving Igbo presidents is not a problem. That's the truth, because what is happening will still be happening. Yoruba will say that they are marginalizing them. That's true. Our Hausa will say that they are marginalizing them. They are not doing this. So the best option for everybody to be okay is just let everybody just manage his or her own resources and go and stay on their own. In fact, it's so tiring. Well, I will not just say more. Drop your own thought at the comment section. What do you think about the move of the US about Biafra, and what do you think? Do you think that there is possibility and there is chances of us getting Biafra by the US, or do you think that Nigeria will freely give us this Biafra? What do you think? Drop your own thoughts at the comment section. Don't forget to share this video to everyone on every social media platform.
Oh yes. In fact, in this video, it's full of a lot of interesting videos and chapters. If you are able to watch to this stage, we say kudos to you. It is not an easy thing. It is a sign to show that you want the betterment of Nigeria and also the betterment of the Igbos in Nigeria. So to round up the whole story and the whole thing, going down to starting from the beginning to the end, you all have been seeing how everywhere is shaking. The United Nations, the way they are debating about Nigerian insecurity, Nigerian kidnapping and the rest of them, and this issue of government. Government is they are whatever they do, whatever this kidnapping do, or these terrorists do, they will be doing as if they don't know what is really happening. And the worst part of it is that after they catch some of them, after some days they will now release them and call them repentant Boko Haram. But somebody that is just speaking and talking against the injustice that is happening in the country, the person will be seen and picked and thrown in prison for more than 20 something years in this same country. Any country that is like Nigeria, that's leverage on injustice, that leverage on maltreating their citizens and the backsliding everybody, that country can never grow. It can never. Even though Nigeria stays for 1,000 years and they are still staying this same method they are staying today, the government is still doing the same thing they are doing today. Everybody, everywhere, no peace, no unity, no love. I don't think the country will grow. I don't think nothing can grow. But what is there is that every day they will keep on confusing some people and claiming that we are one Nigeria, or we are one so content, or we are one so continent or country. And they know that nobody accepts each other. Nobody wants to be. Everybody has been trying their best to leave the country, but they are forcing the country on the head of the people. Now, what you don't need, somebody from somewhere now come in and force it on you and say you must be that thing. And that is the result of all this menace happening every day in Nigeria. If you look around very well, you will see the Fulani terrorists. Their plan and their aim is to Islamize everywhere, is to turn every place into Islam, and to make sure that you as a Christian, you don't even have a space. But my problem with some of all those religious people that used to claim, once you come out and start telling them the truth, I don't know, they used to claim that they have the knowledge of God, or they have the wisdom of God, they can see vision. But after everything, they will never see the truth. They will never see the future. You now that is not that kind of religious, now come in and start revealing the secret of those people to them. Then they will now turn you to become their enemy. And the people you are trying to save then will turn against you. And that is the result of this problem we are having every day in Nigeria. That is why you see no development, nothing, no growth, poverty. Nigeria is ranking the highest poverty index in the world. Go and check it. It is among of the most poverty country in the world. But if you come to the resources, they have resources everywhere. They have everything a country needs to use to grow. They have it. But the government, they don't know how to manage it. They don't know. Every day they will keep on causing chaos between one another, so that they will use that time to use it to pack resources to go to other foreign countries to develop it for them. And that's why you see no place is developing. Then you come to the issue of Biafra. The world has been debating on this issue for a long time. But Mazam Kano told them something, that soon Biafra will become the talk of the world. Everywhere you go, every social media you go, every radio broadcast you go, then we'll start discussing about the Biafra. And once this happens, know that the freedom is at hand. Know that, in fact, the freedom is here already. And that is what is happening. Everywhere you go around the world today, then you cannot see any media that will talk 2 to 3 times that he will not give the report of Biafra in Nigeria. And he will not talk about what is really happening in Nigeria, mostly the issue of Biafra. So all those saying it is what is causing Nigeria a big headache. Don't mind them. Sometimes they will come out, they will tell you that it is nothing. Nobody is taking it serious. That the people that is doing things, that they are just ordinary Igbo businessman that is trying to manipulate people. They used to say all those things before, but now they don't used to say it again. And I don't know how can a government come up and you declare a nation, a tribe, a terrorist. You call them a terrorist. But the Fulani, the mighty Allah, and the world, the UN, and the human rights, and other world have already declared terrorists. The Nigerian government, they have not declared this mighty Allah and the Fulani cattle breeders terrorists. And they are the main people that is causing problem in Nigeria. But the people that is offering you solution, how you can use to solve this problem, you now declare them terrorists. And you want the country to be sustainable. And you want the people to keep clapping for you. The tribe, then you claim that they are the problem of the country. You declare them terrorists. Everybody that the one that is talking about IPOP or that is talking about Biafra today, the next thing, the government will start looking at you like an enemy, that you have come again. He's a terrorist, that you need to lock him. Everything that happened in Mazam Kano issue is a sign to tell you that it's a prisoner of conscience, that it happened due to the government don't like him. Everything that goes in the court, it is not happen in court proceeding. Nothing that comes from the court that's truly from the courts. All those things is just a document written to Omotosho to use to sentence him. They look every ways to find something to pin so that they can use it to prison him. They don't see. Then they now go back to bring one record or one broadcast interview he grants with one man like that and now claim that look at what he said. That is why. Okay, if it is what he said that make you to, what about the people that goes around and kill people and destroy villages, burn village, destroy many life and property? The entire village, they destroy them, chase them away. Many of them is IDP camp today. Those ones that are doing those things, you now see them like prodigal son, like Nigerian sons and daughters, that they are free to give upper hand. In fact, they are freedom people. They are fighting for their freedom. But the person that is talking against the injustice you are doing to his people, the person is now the devil. Sometimes when we think about this issue of justice and injustice in Nigeria, it is worse than any other country in the world. In fact, I would like to hear your comment down below, like, subscribe, and share for everyone to see things happening in the country. So thank you for watching.